If you want your house to be peaceful after 8 o'clock, there is one specific habit you need to stop. Tonight. Not tomorrow, not when things calm down, tonight. Because honestly, it's probably the main reason your child is still awake right now, still fighting you, still refusing to settle. And it's been this way for longer than you want to admit. You've been here, haven't you? It's been a long day, the kind of long that goes all the way down to your bones. You're tired in a way that sleep doesn't always fix, and you just want one moment, just one, to finally breathe. So you check the clock, it's nearly bedtime, you take a breath, you walk in, ready for calm. And then you see them, winding up, the energy spikes, the noise rises, and just like that, the familiar battle begins. That sharp, heavy feeling rises in your chest, and before you even realize it, your voice is louder than you wanted it to be. You're counting down, watching the clock tick, wondering how an ordinary Tuesday night turned into this. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, a thought creeps in that you don't really want to have. Am I doing this wrong? Will it always feel this exhausting? And that thought hurts more than the bedtime battle itself. But here's what most parents never realize, and this is exactly where the real problem begins. Welcome to Everyday Family. If you're a parent who wants to build a stronger, calmer connection with your child, using real psychology and honest, practical insights, consider subscribing. We're here every week for parents just like you. Most of us think the problem is stubbornness. We think it's a discipline issue. We think if we just held the line a little harder, stayed consistent a little longer, it would finally work. But the truth is much quieter than that. And honestly, it lives somewhere most parents never think to look. It lives inside your child's biology. We've all been taught to stay productive until the very last moment of the day. Keep going, get things done, push through. But that instinct, that very normal, very human instinct, is working directly against you at bedtime. Because most parents are accidentally doing the exact opposite of what your child's brain needs to find rest. By the end of this video, you won't just understand why those battles happen, you'll have a simple 5-minute shift that can end them for good. But first, there is one specific mistake I see almost every parent make in the final hour before bed. And honestly, it's the one thing keeping the cortisol high and the peace just out of reach. We've all been here. Maybe you were here last night. Maybe you're here right now. It's been a long day, not just physically tired, the deeper kind. The kind where even your patience has run completely dry. And you just want one moment, just one, to finally exhale, to sit down, to exist without anyone needing something from you. So you check the clock, almost bedtime, almost. You take a quiet breath, you tell yourself, just get through the next hour. You walk in, ready for calm, ready for the day to finally wind down. And then you see them. Running, spinning, louder than they've been all day. And honestly, the energy in the room feels like it's rising right at the exact moment you needed it to fall. That familiar feeling creeps in. You know the one. That sharp, heavy weight settling in your chest. The quiet dread of knowing exactly what's coming next. The negotiating, the repeating yourself, the counting to 3 for the 4th time. The voice that comes out louder than you planned, and the guilt that follows it quietly into bed. You didn't plan for this. You never do. But somehow, here you are again. And somewhere underneath the frustration, underneath the exhaustion, there's a question you keep coming back to. Why is this so hard every single night? The answer is closer than you think.
It starts with the guilt. It always does. That quiet, gnawing feeling that creeps in. The moment you hear your own voice and don't quite recognize it. Sharper than you meant. Louder than you promised yourself it would ever be. You're counting down the seconds, watching the clock with something closer to dread than anticipation. And deep down, you know these hours were supposed to feel different. Stories, soft voices, slow breathing. the gentle bridge between the day and sleep. But instead, the hallway has become a battleground, again. And honestly, you hate the sound of your own frustration. You hate that you're choosing compliance over connection, even when you can see it happening, even when you want so desperately to stop. And then the question surfaces, the one that lands heavier than anything else from the day. Is this who I am? Is this what they'll remember? That question weighs more than the exhaustion itself. And then the full weight of the day finally settles in. The bone-deep kind of tired. The kind that doesn't come from just one thing, but from everything, all day long. Since the very first moment someone needed something from you, you've been on since dawn, balancing, holding, managing, giving pieces of yourself to everything and everyone, until somewhere around now, there are no pieces left. And this last hour, honestly, it doesn't feel like a bedtime routine anymore. It feels like a marathon you never signed up for, with a finish line that keeps moving further away. Every request met with resistance, every boundary tested again, and somewhere underneath the frustration, a quieter voice, the one you try not to listen to. If I were a better parent, if I had more patience, more grace, more energy, this wouldn't be so hard. That thought is lonely, and it's wrong, but in the middle of that moment, it feels completely true. You're standing in a house full of people who need you, and somehow feeling completely alone. And then, when the house is finally quiet, the anxiety arrives, right on schedule. The kind that waits until everyone else is asleep and then sits down next to you, uninvited. Why won't they listen? Am I missing something? Is there something I'm just not seeing? And it's not just about tonight. It never is. It's about tomorrow night, and the night after that, and the quiet, exhausting question you keep asking the ceiling. Am I going to feel this tired forever? You're caught in a cycle, searching for a rhythm that always feels just slightly out of reach. But here's what I want you to consider. What if the struggle isn't a reflection of who you are as a parent? What if their resistance isn't really about defiance at all? What if it's about something you've been doing every single night without ever realizing the impact it was having? The truth has been there the whole time, hiding in the most ordinary part of your evening, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it.
Here's the part that changes everything. And honestly, once you hear this, you'll look at bedtime completely differently. Most of us are accidentally stimulating our child's nervous system right at the exact moment we should be calming it down. Not on purpose, not out of carelessness, just without knowing. You know how the final hour usually goes. There's so much left to wrap up. The bath needs to happen, the last few things on the list need checking off. And maybe one just to connect, just to end the day on something good. It feels helpful. It feels loving even. But here's what's actually happening underneath all of it. Your child's brain is still processing the entire day. Every sound, every interaction, every moment of stimulation they absorbed from morning until now. And when you bring high-energy play into that last hour, tickling, loud conversation, rushing and hurrying and pushing through, you are spiking their cortisol, their adrenaline. You are, honestly, fueling the fire while trying to put it out. And then we wonder why they can't calm down. It's not defiance. It's not stubbornness. Their nervous system is simply physically incapable of shifting gears that fast. It's biology, not behavior. And here's the insight that quietly changes everything. Your child's nervous system acts like a mirror to yours. If you are moving through that last hour with frantic, high-intensity energy, even with the best intentions, they will mirror that energy right back at you, every single time. So the shift isn't about controlling them. It's about becoming the anchor. 20 minutes before lights out. That's all it takes. 20 quiet minutes of what I call low light, low voice mode. Your psychological reset button for both of you. Start by dimming the lights significantly. The human brain is hardwired to read low light as a signal. The day is ending. It's safe to let go now. When the room grows dim, your child's body begins producing melatonin naturally, not because you told it to, because you gave it the cue it was waiting for. Next, drop your voice, a whisper, a low, steady hum. And here's something most parents don't realize. Stop asking complex questions in that final window.
How was your day? What do you want for tomorrow? These questions require thinking, problem solving. They activate the exact part of the brain that needs to be powering down. Instead, switch to something slow, something repetitive, something that asks nothing of them. Turning the pages of a familiar book, folding laundry together in the soft light, sitting in the dim room, saying nothing at all. Because here's the truth, the most quietly powerful truth of this whole video. By lowering your own energy, you are syncing their nervous system to yours. You're not just teaching them to sleep, you're teaching them how to return to calm. You're showing them, without a single word, that the day is done, that they are safe, that it is okay to finally let go. The path to a peaceful night doesn't require a complicated reward system. It doesn't require a different child or a different version of yourself. It requires something much simpler, a change in your own rhythm. I call it the 20-minute anchor. 20 minutes before lights out, I want you to commit to one thing, a total environmental shift. Not just turning down a dial, not just lowering the volume, but genuinely creating a sanctuary from the intensity of the day. Start with the lights. Dim every light in the room as low as it will go. And honestly, this one small thing does more than you'd expect. Research tells us that light is the primary regulator of our internal clock. When you remove that harsh overhead brightness, you are sending a physical signal directly to your child's brain. External stimulation is over. The day has ended. It is safe to wind down now. Not because you said so, because their biology finally got the message. Next, the low voice protocol. This one is simple, and it works almost immediately. Any instructions you need to give, keep them minimal, quiet, monotone, almost boring, honestly. Because here's what most parents don't realize. When we speak in an excited tone, an authoritative tone, even a loving but loud tone, we keep our child's nervous system on high alert. But when you slow your cadence, drop your volume, speak like the day is already over, you send a biological safety signal, an auditory cue that says, "We are safe, the day is done, it is time to be still." And their nervous system listens. And now, the most practical step. Replace the one last play with what I call sensory anchoring. Choose one activity, just one, something repetitive, something low stimulation, something that asks very little of anyone. Folding their laundry slowly together, organizing their books by color, sitting side by side in the soft light while you hum something low and steady. Nothing exciting, nothing that requires thinking or solving or deciding. Because the goal here is to gently move your child's focus away from doing and towards simply being. Now, when they resist, and they will, at least at first, I want you to remember something important. That resistance isn't defiance. It's their nervous system trying to find its footing, trying to locate the familiar chaos and finding something calm instead. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to get frustrated. You don't need to do anything dramatic. You just need to stay. Stay calm, stay slow, stay boring, honestly. Your presence, your steady breath, your consistent, unhurried movements, that is what they are craving, even if they don't know it yet. Because here's the truth I want you to hold on to. This isn't about control. It never was. It's about connection. By lowering your own energy, you are quietly syncing their nervous system to yours. You are not just teaching them to sleep. You are teaching them how to come back to calm, how to release the weight of the day before carrying it into the night. And honestly, that is one of the most profound things a parent can give. Not a perfect routine, not a flawless system, just your presence. You're calm. You're willing to slow down and become the anchor they've needed all along. And tonight, for the first time in a long time, the end of the day might actually feel like the end of the day.
Before you close this video, I want you to hear something I think you genuinely need tonight. You are not failing, not even a little. The nights are hard because this is hard, not because something is wrong with your child, not because something is wrong with you. You've just been speaking a language that nobody ever taught you, the language of your child's nervous system. And now you're learning it. That's not failure. That's growth. And honestly,
That takes real courage. That frustration you've been carrying into bedtime, it was never a sign that you're doing it wrong. It was just a signal, a quiet reminder that it's time to slow down. Not just for them, for you too. Because you need this as much as they do. The stillness, the exhale, the permission to let the day finally end. So tonight, when you walk into that room, take one breath first. Just one. Let go of the need for the day to be finished perfectly. Let go of the list. Let go of the version of bedtime you thought you were supposed to have. And instead, choose to be the calm harbor your child has been waiting for. Not a perfect parent, not a patient saint, just a steady presence, an anchor, someone who decided, tonight, to slow down. That choice changes everything. You have the power to turn these final moments from a wall of conflict into a bridge of connection. Every single night, one small shift at a time. And honestly, you've already taken the first step. You watched this video. You stayed until the end. That matters more than you know. Before you go, I want to hear from you. What is the one thing that usually trips you up during your bedtime routine? Drop it in the comments below. Because this community, this quiet corner of the internet for parents who are trying, we're all figuring it out together. And your voice belongs here too. If this helped you breathe even a little easier tonight, consider subscribing. We're building something here. A community of parents who choose connection over control, one night at a time. You've done enough today. More than enough. Now, it's time to rest. You've got this.